today what I'd like to do is break down downward dog. And so we will go ahead and move into the position and check our form and make sure we're properly aligned and getting the most out of the pose. And then we'll do a couple vinyasas together. If you're not sure about the steps for the vinyasa, that's okay, just follow along. We're going to go nice and slow. You can also see my previous video in episode 1 to get a breakdown of the whole vinyasa. But I will be taking us through each pose so that you feel more comfortable as you go through it. And these are the building blocks to yoga. So let's get started with our downward dog. So first of all, what we're going to do is let's actually warm up our wrists first. So go ahead and kind of, it feels silly, but just go ahead and kind of shake out your hands, kind of wringing your hands. And then do this. This is really great if you have carpal tunnel or you're typing a lot. You can do this at work. I mean, people might look at you funny, but you know, who cares? It's good for you. So then flap your hands. This one feels even sillier, but gets the blood flowing to your wrists because we're going to spend a little time on our wrists, so we want to make sure they're nice and warm. You can try bending with the back of your hand away from you, just pulling gently down to just really open up that forearm and that wrist area. And then turning it around so your palm is facing away from you and gently pulling it toward, your fingers toward you. Feel that nice opening up in your forearm, and it's opening up your wrists as well. Now, switch hands. Good. Back of our hand is facing away from us, and then the palm is facing away from us. So we're gently pulling on our fingers. Good. Okay. And then go ahead. I'm just going to turn this side so you can see me. Clasp your hands behind you. You can interlace your fingers if you want, and then try to straighten your arms. And if that's not obtainable for you, you can use a strap or a hand towel. Just grab it behind you and get your hands as close as you can. If you're able to clasp, but maybe you can't make your palms touch, that's okay too. Maybe they're out like this. All we want to do is open up these shoulders just a little bit. I like to do a gentle rock here. It helps open up my back a little more. Think about our breathing as we're doing this still. Something else I covered in our last video, in the beginner video for vinyasa. Good. Okay. Now let's release. And let's go ahead and start getting into downward dog. So coming onto your hands and knees. Now, as I mentioned previous in the other video, you can grab a blanket or a towel to put under your knees if this is too much, or you can also double up your mat, just fold it over to get a little more cushion. Totally up to you. You might be fine right here. We're not going to be here very long. So let's go ahead and plant your hands down. And coming, I like to start here for down dog, but think about your wrists being directly under your shoulders to start. And then you're going to tuck your toes under, okay? Now what we're going to do is start to lift our hips up, okay? So as we're doing this, there's some things to be thinking about. You can keep your knees bent if you want, especially if you're starting out and your hamstrings are tight. I recommend this. Think about driving your heels toward the floor. You may not be able to bring them all the way down. Most people cannot starting out. That's totally fine. They might be way up here. That's okay. This is a really good pose. It's so good for us. You can pedal out your legs a little bit. Maybe you're a little more open in your hamstrings. You can start to do that. Now, you want to think about your weight being even between your hands and your feet. So really rooting down. And for your hands, if you're feeling a lot of pressure in one spot, really think about putting some weight into your fingertips even. Like really grounding down through your fingertips, as well as the palms of your hand. That helps minimize some of, what could feel like too much weight. Come down at any point. If you need a break, just come back down to your knees. So, sending those hips up. When you're ready to go back, your feet should be about hip width apart. Oh, and don't mind Chester. Hi, Chester. And so, you want your ears to be next to your arms. and like to your biceps, okay? So your gaze might be toward your legs or your belly button, depending on where your alignment is. We're all a little different, but your gaze should really, mine is toward my legs and my feet. Okay, and you want to keep that back and that neck aligned. So think about making kind of almost like a triangle with the floor, with your body. Okay, again, as I said, you can keep your knees bent. Just hold it here. This is really good for us to be upside down. Getting fresh blood to our head. This is one of the inversions, and there are many inversions we could do, from handstands to headstands, and so on. I really like downward dog for inversions. So coming down for a moment, if you're not already there, for a little rest. Give your wrists a little bit of a break. Just kind of, you can shake them out again if you want. Just bend them. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just go through a couple of vinyasas, and then we'll stay in our down dog just for 2 breaths during our flow. You're going to find that it gets a little easier now that we've done that, we've warmed up. So now you're going to find in the flows that it's even better, and it may feel a little more open in your hamstrings. So let's get started. So coming to the top of your mat. Now, let's go to inhale up. Remember, inhaling and exhaling through our nose. Exhale. So we're swan diving to our forward fold. Now you don't have to go as far as me. You might be right here. That's fine. It's a nice forward fold here. And then we're going to inhale to flat back. So nice flat back here. Inhale. Exhale. You can bend your knees slightly. Place your hands down. Step back into your plank. Now if you want, you can go to your knees if that's better for you. And then we're going to exhale down into our chaturanga. And then at this point, let's inhale up into a little cobra here. So elbows are in tight, slightly bent. We're inhaling, tuck those toes under. Exhale, bring your hips up into that down dog we just practiced. And if you want to pedal out a little more, my calves are a little tight, so I'm just going to pedal out a bit here. You might be here. Do what feels right for your body. This is your practice. Couple breaths here, in and out the nose. Actually, sometimes in down dog, I like to do out my mouth. So do a nice inhale through the nose, and then an exhale through the mouth. Just feels really good in this position. So now we're going to inhale, look toward your hands. Inhale, gently step up to your hands, bend your knees as much as you have to if you're pretty tight. Let's inhale up, 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 looking at our hands. And exhale down to mountain. Good. Okay, let's do that one more time. It's okay if you're not quite there, you're not keeping up, that's okay. It can only get better. That's what I always say. So let's go again. Ready? Inhale. Exhale. Hello, Chester. Now inhale, flat back. And you can inhale up here if you want. Exhale as we step back into our chaturanga, or you can be on your knees. And then we're going to inhale into an up dog or cobra. Up dog is a little different. We'll go over that in a different video. If you're not there, just stay in your cobra, but elbows. Tuck your toes under. And we're going to exhale into our down dog. Very good. A couple breaths here. And when you're ready, looking toward your hands, bend your knees if you need to, stepping forward gently. And let's inhale up. And exhale down. Good, good. Thank you very much. That is our downward dog flow with our flows to practice our vinyasa. So those are the building blocks to getting started in yoga, along with our breathing. So I'll have more videos breaking down different poses. So if you want to see something specific, please feel free to leave a comment. I will read them all and respond to them all. Leave a comment, let me know what you would like to see. Any feedback at all, I'm open to it. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.